Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video here. So here's my episode 5 trailer breakdown. Obviously this will contain spoilers for episode 4, but I'm sure you're aware of that. Episode 4 was a really great episode. I would say probably the best episode so far of the season, but I've been saying that about every single episode so far, but I think it's because it has just been building and building like that, right? Like if you look at episode 1, it's the only episode, right? But like you go into episode 2 and all the boat scenes and all of that were a lot of fun, but episode 3 I liked a lot more than episode 2. And episode 4 we get Bruegel, and it was a really great episode. And I don't know if this is going to end up being the case, but it almost looks like episode 5 might be a lot better than the one that we just watched, just based off of this trailer, because it looks like a lot of stuff is going to be happening here. It seems like Bruegel and maybe, I'm not sure if it's the Croat and Dama, but it looks like they're going to be going after this new group, and New Babylon is also there as well. So they seem to take over this place, so a lot of stuff is going to be happening here, and I'm curious to what happens with Herschel if he goes with Bruegel, and maybe that is something that Negan set up in episode 4, but we'll talk about that as we get through the trailer here. So before we go any further, make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. Now, the trailer here begins with Negan and Dama here. So he's looking at the maze here that the Dama has here, where the rat obviously goes through everything here. It's really cool to actually see the characters here, and I'm wondering what is happening here with Negan. Now, episode 4 ended in a way where it kind of seemed like maybe, you know, what he was talking to Bruegel about was the fact that he noticed that his walker champion, I guess, was an actual person and not a walker, right? And so maybe it seemed like, oh, he told Bruegel that, like, oh, I know what you're sort of doing with the walker champion, right? And then Bruegel responded and was like, you know what, actually it's cool, I'll just you know, I don't need any methane, I'll join your alliance and whatever, right? It almost seemed like that's how it was supposed to go, but I feel like Negan told him something about Herschel, like I need you to find Herschel, or something like that, because in this trailer we do see Bruegel actually find Herschel, and it seems like he's actually going there to try and find him. And so if it does play out like that and he actually you know, I guess captures Herschel and maybe brings him to Negan, that could be something that he's trying to do to protect him overall from like Dama and the Croat, because, you know, it's one of those things where I think his, I guess, allegiance is changing here a little bit, right? I think Negan is not going to be so much on Dama and the Croat side, and he might join Bruegel. Like, I think no matter what, he's always on his own side, right? But I think in all of this here, he could probably, you know, I guess be on Bruegel's side, and I think he'll be much happier. So I think that's probably what he's trying to do here, is get Bruegel to, I guess, have more power and maybe take over Dama and the Croat and whatnot, and then we'll just see where, I guess, that goes, right? But that kind of seems like that's where they're going here. I feel like he's not being honest with them anymore. I feel like he's going to be turning against them really soon here. But we do see here in the trailer that Negan actually goes to visit, I believe his name is Christos. He's a new character. He has a group here. I don't know what they're called. There seems to be like 3 groups overall in New York City, but I would say overall there's probably 4. Like there's the Foragers, right? Like that's where Maggie and Pearlie, Herschel, they're staying there right now. We have the Croat and Dama. There's also Bruegel in his group, and then there's also, I guess, Christos in his group. And so it looks like we're going to be getting into this community here a little bit in this episode, and Negan is going to try and get him to join. And so I'm curious as to how that's going to go, because like he was very nice to Bruegel, but I don't know if it's going to be the same thing here. Like I just feel like a lot more stuff is going to happen. But then again, if you look behind Negan, there's actually methane here. So I imagine they're going to be doing the same thing here. Is it going to work out, you know, the same way it did it in the previous episode? Probably not. I feel like this might be where he has to like Lucille somebody. Like it might play out like that. I'm not sure. Like we have some shots here of the Croat, and it looks like he's actually using some of the methane in this place. So maybe at some point, you know, they're actually held captive or something happens. Like we see Negan and he's sitting on this chair. Like, is he held captive at this point? Is he just waiting for Christos to show up here? Like, we'll have to wait and see, but I feel like it's not going to play out, you know, as, I guess, as well as it did in the previous episode. We do see some shots here of Maggie, and there's also some shots just in general at the Foragers base. And we see the new Marshal here with a lot more people from New Babylon, and it looks like they're taking over this place. So That seems to be what's happening here. I imagine the way that things are probably going to play out here is maybe there's a scene where she's like, well, while you were all out there, I guess finding Negan, I got some reinforcements. And so now they're going to take over this place here and maybe, make this place, I guess, join New Babylon, because that seems to be what they like to do. They already tried to do that before. They're probably going to do that here. And I don't think Maggie can do anything about it, because there's a shot here where we do see Maggie and it looks like she actually gets kicked out of this place here. And yeah, I imagine she's going to be out on her own. If you notice, like, it's starting to turn to night here. So I think this is where a lot of the battles and stuff are going to happen. I think Maggie, it's possible that she's the only one leaving here, but I think they are going to build to a moment here where there's a battle that actually happens, because Bruegel shows up and is going to attack this place, which I think is going to be a lot of fun, because obviously they've been building up the story really well. So by the time they actually get here and all of this happens, like, it's going to be super cool. We see some more shots here of Negan with Christos, and it looks like Christos is actually holding Lucille. So that's really interesting. Like, I feel like maybe he's just like, you know what? Like, that would be kind of like, I could see them doing that. I don't know. But like, imagine if he's just like, you know what? I will join your alliance if you get shocked by Lucille, right? Like, I think that could be something he literally says, because he was the one that got shocked by Lucille in the first episode. So I could see that happening here, where he's just like, if you do that, then I'll join your alliance, because, I mean, it has to be fair, right? So I feel like maybe that's what's happening here in this scene. And does Negan do that? Like, I don't think so. I think that would be kind of insane, but yeah, I don't see that happening. We have some shots here of, it looks like, where, I don't know if it's Maggie who cuts the power to everything here, but it looks like the power goes out everywhere here, because we see the Croat here and the power gets cut to everything here. Radio City Music Hall actually turns off entirely. So whatever is happening here for power and everything, they actually do cut the power entirely. And that's, that's something I'm really interested in for where the story is going here, because we have a lot of the setup now. We know the main villains, and that's why I think a lot of this is going to be going into season 3. I think there's going to be some conclusions to some stuff, obviously. Like, there will be some pretty big deaths, some, crazier things that happen, I think, overall, but they're really building up this story well. And I think after 4 episodes, we're at a point where we know all of the characters now. And I guess we know where the story is going. Like, they all want methane. And now I think a lot of stuff's going to actually be happening. Like, episode 5, we're probably going to see a lot of battles here. They're going to be trying to take the methane and cut the power here to everything. And so once they do that, like, what happens after that? Like, the bear scene, I don't think is happening in this episode. I thought it could happen in episode 4, but obviously not. I did a poll on that, actually, and everyone was saying, like, no, it's not going to happen in 4. I've been seeing some predictions for episode 6, so I feel like, yeah, that probably makes a lot of sense. Episode 6 at this point, it's likely going to happen, and then we'll see where things go for episode 7 and 8, because no one reviewed those episodes yet. Like, no one's watched them or have any reviews out on it yet, so I don't know if it's because there's big spoilers there, if there's like big character deaths or whatever, but yeah, that's why I'm really interested in where this season is going right now, because it seems like we're building up to something pretty big here. And yeah, I'm interested in seeing where this is going to go. But yeah, overall predictions I have for the episode, I think that it's going to really go, based off of what happened at the end of episode 4, where we see them go back to, their bases and whatnot. And then I think that's where things are going to start to really change. I think that New Babylon will take over the Foragers base. And then I think Bruegel is going to go after them. I think that there's going to be some, battles there, some big deaths and whatnot. And then they're going to build to something where there's some big reveals, probably with what Negan told Bruegel. Maybe he's the one that wanted Herschel, right? I don't know if that's what's happening here. The trailer makes it look like Herschel's looking at Bruegel. That's possible. That could be happening. But I think it's going to be how it all plays out. And the whole villain storyline for Herschel, it's interesting because, like, if he's taken by Bruegel, Dama's going to be there. But if Bruegel and Negan are going to go against Dama and the Croat, then it's just like, well, wait, what's going on then? Because then he's going to go against them because Herschel's on Dama's side, right? It's kind of crazy to say because he should be on Maggie's side. But I think he is as well, but he is more on Dama's side because he understands the vision that she has, and he has, very similar goals and whatnot for his life. And so I think that is something that will be kind of, cool to see how that plays out in this episode. I know that, like, he's probably going to take Herschel, right? Because all the bear scenes, you do see Maggie and Herschel there, and it looks like Maggie and Herschel are together. So if Maggie is away from Herschel in episode 5, it looks like she finds him in episode 6, and they're trying to get away, and I think they will, but obviously there's going to be a bear that they're going to have to deal with, which is absolutely just crazy. I can't even imagine how that's going to play out. Like, I don't think they're going to die, obviously, but I'm trying to picture how the scene is going to be, and like that just sounds honestly insane. So we'll see, but that's where I see the story going. And I think for 7 and 8, I'm just like, that's where I wonder if Herschel's going to be more of a villain there. Do some of these characters die? Like, why does Maggie have Lucille? That's probably not happening in episode 5 or 6. Has to be 7 or 8, right? Which is like right by the finale. So like, are you setting up something for season 3? What's the cliffhanger going to be? I imagine there's going to be one. Like, at this point here, they're really building up to something. It doesn't seem like it's going to be something that's like the end of like Dead City or something. Like, obviously there's going to be a season 3. There's already rumors that there's going to be a new showrunner and a lot of that. So I think that, yeah, just to see what they're building up here, it's exciting, because I think that this is what season 2 needed, was a lot of like slow episodes in the beginning to really build up the story to something really great, so that when you go into season 3 as well, like, there's just going to be a lot more depth to all the characters. We're going to know all the characters, right? And this is where you have to have other characters show up, like Dwight. Because if Dwight shows up in the finale, or it's a post-credit scene, or just something where it teases the future of this story for season 3 or whatever, this show is going to get so amazing, so fast. Everyone's going to be like, wow, Dead City is incredible, because they're doing a lot of really great build-up of the story, but you just need those connections to The Walking Dead. And if they make a lot more connections like that for the finale, to have more characters there for season 3 from the original Walking Dead, like Dwight is a perfect character, and Sherry as well. You have to have her on the show too. I just think that, like, man, season 3, the excitement there is going to be incredible to see Dwight and Negan see each other for the first time in a while. And obviously we know how Dwight feels about him. So I just think that season 2 could really be building up to something really exciting here, and I hope that it does. I hope that we're not disappointed, but as of right now, we can really only focus on being excited, because it seems like they are building to something really awesome. So we'll have to wait and see, but anyways, I'm gonna leave it here. Definitely post all your thoughts down below. Make sure to be a subscriber if you want to get all my Walking Dead content like this, and I'll see you in the next one.